everyone, and welcome to Class Dismissed, brought to you by Freedom Project Academy, which we're now enrolling students in pre-K through 12th grade for the fall. Visit freedom4school.com and use the code CD10 to save 10% on tuition. I am Katie, joined by Dave, Jim, and Lindsay this week. Let's kick things off with this headline. Stressed Generation Z is carrying around anxiety bags with tools to calm their nerves. Okay.
Gen Z is stressed out. They're not letting that stop them. Across the internet, young people are increasingly putting together small kits with everyday items to help them manage stress and anxiety on the go. I've spoken to several experts over the last couple weeks who told me about the best products to put in your anxiety bag. Let's build one together. First up, your bag. Next, grab your favorite supplements to help you relax, like these Let Me Chill gummies. You're also going to want to find a calming scent, like this lavender essential oil. A lot of people find themselves getting hot when they start to feel agitated, so that's where a portable fan can come in, while an ice pack, especially on the back of the neck, can not only cool you down, but also help shock your nervous system so you can come back to reality. Similarly, the sharp smell of an alcohol wipe can also jolt you back to your senses, helping pull you out of that spiral. If you'd prefer something more tactile, your favorite fidget spinner might be able to help. The same goes for sour candies. Now, you can pick your favorite, but essentially, experts say you want to find something with a strong enough taste that'll really redirect your senses to your taste buds so you're not so caught up in your head. And if all else fails, my fellow posties and I have found that a shoutlet can help you let it out.
A shoutlet? What did she say?
A shoutlet.
Yeah.
Shoutlet?
All right,
Shout it out.
A
you
pillow?
can call them anxiety bags, or they call them panic pouches. Some people just call them calm down kits. As Lindsay and I agree, they're a purse.
It's a purse.
with whatever items are needed that you have.
Yeah, this is not a thing.
This is not a thing, but it is a thing for the social media, which the reason that this has become a thing is that on the TikTok and Instagram and wherever else the teens and young 20-year-olds are hanging out of Gen Z, they're like displaying theirs and then comparing what their anxiety bag kit looks like, and then other people are posting it, and so it's become a thing that now oh, they're anxious and they have this kit, so now I need a kit. So no, and that's what started the trend of it.
I can't even believe this is I can
believe
news.
it. This is news
look at
out
this
on the
thing.
social medias.
I
They have to
mean,
compare them, which is what made them anxious in the first place, is all the comparing that is being done.
Right.
And so this is mostly Gen Z women. So gentlemen, you're excluded on this one.
I noticed.
Mostly Gen Z women who are stressed out. We would just call it stressed out, but they call it anxious, of course.
Yeah.
And a survey was done of about 1,000 Americans who were aged 18 to 26 years old, and 61% of them reported having a diagnosed anxiety condition, with 43%, more than 4 in 10, saying they experience a panic attack at least once a month. And so this then is the result.
every woman has that in her purse right now. Gum, mints.
But what they're stressing mostly is the jolt back to reality. And I'm guessing there are other ways you can get jolted back.
Yeah.
Nothing
It's called
like
life.
calming your anxiety by munching down a whole pack of Sour Patch.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay,
stresses me
where's
out.
the tissues, by the way, when you're crying to yourself? I don't see any tissues in that purse.
no, they have a, what did they call it? What's the thing?
The scream pouch or whatever. I don't even know what they
You
said
know?
it was.
Shout pillow.
Shout, yeah. Yikes.
Well, let's give
what?
them some credit. At least they're trying to identify a coping mechanism, right?
This is true.
So they
Sure.
have to figure out some way to cope. Is it the best way? Likely not. My daughter struggles, interestingly enough. So this article kind of hit home for me because my daughter, since she got to college, she never had an issue with anxiety, but since she got to college, this has been something she's been struggling with. Now, she doesn't have a panic attack once a month. She's had a panic attack in 4 years, but she feels very anxious. And so what I try to teach her is not, you don't use stuff like this. You give it to the Lord because he will ultimately protect you. He bears our burden. Like when we're dealing with something that we feel completely overwhelmed by and feel like we can't handle it and we need to rely on him, I keep telling her, you have the greatest coping mechanism in your Savior. Take it to him, express to him, pray to him. What's bothering you? Why are you feeling anxious? Because he will give you clarity in that moment and he will give you peace and calm.
Well, unfortunately, according to this study, which was done by Harmony Healthcare, they don't do that.
No.
54% report they excessively use social media or doom scrolling when dealing
That's
with
why
their
they have
anxiety.
Yeah.
Then 41% say they eat unhealthy food. 34% use marijuana, edibles, vapes. 32% turn to alcohol. 30% do binge eating, I'm guessing of that unhealthy food.
Yeah.
And then 17% do vaping. So this is why all of it is just circular. It just is
Bad
going to
cycle.
keep
Remember,
going.
think of like the anxiety, like you're having an anxiety attack. You're like, I gotta find this mint, and you're like throwing out this. You can't find then just off.
I'm sorry, if you went out on a date, if I was a guy, and the
If you were a
woman
guy, you're
across
not.
from me shouted into a shout.
She pulls out a
Be
shout
like,
back.
I'm out. I'm done. See you later. You can pay for your half. That's what's gonna happen.
It's that, or the guy's going to be like, you too? Here's my shot leg.
Goodness, no.
Yeah.
2 peas in a pod on that one.
The only thing missing from that video was the septum piercing, Katie.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know,
That's a good
I'm
point.
shocked. Might have taken it out for the video.
Yeah.
Maybe. Well, we can at least have hope in the future. Maybe only in Vermont, though, where a 14-year-old boy has decided, because he's not a man yet, he's 14 years old, but he has decided to be candidate for governor. He is the first teenager to get on Vermont's general election ballot.
But our next guest is making history by
Only in
launching a
Vermont.
run for Vermont governor at just 14 years old.
Dean Roy says that he wants to see real change for his generation, and he joins us now to explain how he's going to make it happen. Good morning, Dean. Thank you for joining us. Talk to us about your
Good morning.
platform that you're running on.
Yeah, so the platform that I'm running on mainly is focusing on housing, energy, healthcare, and education. For housing, it's mainly revolving around deregulating in regards to Act 250 and increasing taxes on short-term rentals, which are a very prominent problem in Vermont. For energy, it's nuclear power. If we were to reopen a nuclear power plant,
He's
we
more
would secure
well-spoken than
energy
some
independence. And for education and healthcare, it's auditing those systems, which are very inefficient in Vermont, and making sure that we get them to be efficient once again, and make sure that they're at the standard where Vermonters can both afford them and can lower their tax bill.
Well, you're way smarter than a lot of adults who have made it into politics, so we appreciate that. What is it, but you're 14 years old. What inspired you to get into politics?
Really, it was one event. I was a page during 8th grade, and that was essentially an intern that worked at the local state capitol. And there I saw how our politicians were leading, and that really got me inspired to then attempt to become involved in Vermont's politics.
I love this story. 2 reasons. One, I'm all for youth empowerment because obviously they're the next generation of future leaders. So the more we can encourage them and provide opportunities for them to really learn and grow and explore and become somebody who is, again, a positive contributor to society and obviously wants to represent positive change in his own state. So I coach kids in speech and debate. And many of them I've come across are far more intelligent, innovative, and creative than a lot of adults I know. One of my former students is at Harvard, and he too served as a Senate page like Dean and aspires to be president of the United States one day. He's met several former presidents, and he's incredibly well-spoken, highly intelligent, hard worker, and just an all-around nice kid, right? I want to see him succeed, just as I want to see someone like Dean succeed. So I think the benefit of someone in his position is also the fact that he's younger, and kids are going to be far more open-minded, I believe, to ideas and potential change because they haven't experienced the jaded world as much as some of the
Right.
adults, especially those in politics that have been battling in political arenas for years and decades. So I also love the fact that he's focusing on policy implementation and change with his platform. And he's using it in a reasonable and logical manner. And it's not some emotionally charged ideological agenda that he's pushing, right? He's thinking, what can we do in terms of taxes? What can we do in terms of the economy, energy that makes sense for the people and ultimately saves people money? So I think he's using a lot of common sense in his platform. And so I'm I wish him the best. I think it's great that he's on the ballot.
Well, I can guess based on how well spoken he is. He hasn't been talking to one of his 2 senators from Vermont.
I was gonna say
Bernard Sanders, who hopefully will be out of office soon enough.
I don't know, as the resident hater on the panel,
Ooh, so your
I'm
official
gonna say
title?
I like this kid. He's well spoken. I like his platform. Although you can tell he's been around politicians. I'm just gonna go out and say it. Sounds like what every politician says before they run for office. I'm for energy, healthcare, and the economy. All right, but I would say this. All best to this kid. He's 14 years old.
Correct.
When I heard this story and I watched this, again, I have nothing against Dean Roy. Our society has gotten to a point now where we're looking to 14-year-olds to fix adult problems. And it reminds me of the Bible verse. I'm just going to quote it here. It's in Isaiah 3. It's Isaiah warning the corrupt leaders of Jerusalem and Judah at that time that they are going to be overtaken by Babylon, right? He's warning them. As for my people, this is the start of Isaiah 3:12. As for my people, children are their oppressors. He's directly saying that children are ruling over you because of your lack of commitment to the Lord and doing what is right. So all props to this kid. I have nothing against him, but the whole concept that we need a 14-year-old to fix something is just beyond my imagination. And especially, well, obviously it would happen in Bernie Sanders. Yeah.
I mean, come on.
For the
State,
record,
but-
Yeah.
just to put frame of reference, and then everyone make up your own decision. I just looked it up. Bernie Sanders is currently 84 years old. So you have an 84-year-old representing Vermont.
Right.
Yeah.
And now a 14-year-old is trying to come in and like be in charge of the whole state. Any happy mediums? Any
Vermont, get your act together. Come on.
But then I completely see your point, Jim, of like 14. You're not fully developed in your brain
Right.
No.
yet. Like you still have a lot of developing to
But
go.
it goes to show you the level of incompetence of some of the adults in
Correct.
politics, right?
But at the same time, like why we've become such a society that is all about the youth, and giving them a little bit too much credence in the name of like always social media and always being
right.
like their faces out there, while at the same time holding in office some of these people for decades and decades and decades. So
Right.
it's like if we would all just remember what George Washington long ago taught us, that you're here to serve the people. And when you're done serving the people, you go home. You go
Yeah.
home.
Term limits.
Bernie,
Yep.
it's time.
Putting it out there. But good luck to him. I mean, he did
Yeah.
say in the story and stuff, it's not like he actually is going to be heartbroken if he
Right.
loses. He understands it.
Yeah.
But it was just when I read it, how he said, well, at night after I'm done doing my job, I'll do my homework. And it was just,
I
He's
mean,
got a
I
good
do
sounding
like-
name,
yeah,
Dean
that-
Roy.
there's-
It sounds like a
Yeah.
I think his whole
you know, there's,
his whole point is he wants to challenge the status quo because he realizes that it's broken.
yeah, this is true. That it is. Well, just like I guess he was a page and learned from the politicians and now wants to be a politician. This story's from a teacher's assistant to a college professor who maybe he wants to be a professor one day. But he noticed, because TAs are the ones who are in charge of grading everything when you go to college, he noticed something happening that I want to get everyone's opinion on.
Is anyone else slightly concerned on what college professors can now see when you grade your paper? Because I'm grading a student's paper, I'm a TA, and I have to expose this just a little bit. Because what we can see, there's one thing we can see now when you're typing out your paper that I don't think any college student's ever seen before. I have a student's paper here, pulled up. All right, this is a real student's essay. And when I come over here to this black dot and I click on it, what it does is it pulls up this AI scanner from GPT-0 that says if the text is human or not. Okay, so we can tell from right off the bat the student didn't use ChatGPT to write this paper, but now we can actually see how he wrote the paper by going over here to this button called the Play Writing Report. And what this does is it pulls up a video in real time showing exactly how the student typed out the essay. So it shows all the
It's
front space the student
GPT-0.
made,
It's very
all of the
similar.
back spaces the
It's
student
kind of run
made,
by the same
and all the
group.
keystrokes the student made when typing out the paper. Then it shows all the pastes and all the edits the student made. Come over here, it shows how long it took the student to write the paper, how many words are in the paper, the edits and pastes again, and the timestamp when the student uploaded the paper into Google Docs. Then it shows the editors of the paper, so the student and the professor both made edits to this paper, and then it shows a typing analysis that says if it's natural or unnatural sounding. This is a 100% natural sounding paper because of the pauses, errors, and changes in speed and rhythm.
We've been talking about this a lot with AI and students just using AI to think for them. And if applied correctly, AI can be a very valuable tool.
Agreed.
It's unfortunate that teachers have to go to these lengths to try to figure out whether it is accurate or not. He was using GPT-0, which I use as well. And I actually find it to be about 90% accurate when it says if something is human written or not. Actually, we had our freshman, like our high school forum the other day, last week, and we were talking about the use of AI. And I actually told the FPA students, I said, I actually think all of this AI writing hurts you, because here at FPA, we practice writing with the fundamentals. You know, a couple weeks ago, we were talking about transition words. Well, they can use that here at our school. So when they put in their papers into AI, an AI checker like a GPT-0, for instance, quite often it will come back that it is AI. So I said, actually, you guys are at a disadvantage because now you have to, you know, unfortunately prove to us that it isn't. So it's an interesting concept. It's a really nice feature to use. I have other ways of going about trying to figure out whether it's AI, but at least there is something to kind of draw back a little bit.
Are they in like a Google Doc? Like, how do they?
The submission was in Google. Yeah.
Okay.
But then
I can show you how. I can show you.
Okay.
One.
So
I've watched.
I like the
papers.
fact that you can see how the paper was generated from scratch, right?
Yeah.
So then you know the student's not copying and pasting content from other sources and plagiarizing. So I think that's a great tool. And again, if used correctly and taught how to use that to, again, refine and kind of look at, this is my process. How can I improve my process in my writing creation?
Right.
It's definitely has value with that. And as a teacher, of course, if you see that this is not human generated, then we use that as an opportunity to teach. It's a teachable moment, right? So we have an academic integrity course that we enroll our students in. If we find that they're using AI or other outside sources or not citing sources properly, giving credit where credit's due, because ultimately we want them, as you said, to be able to find it advantageous for them to use as a tool, not something that they rely on as a crutch, but it refines their practice, it refines their writing. And that's where teaching them the proper use of AI is really, really important.
It also my favorite thing for like Chat GPT is like if my goose is cooked about something, like I'm hot, and I will write exactly what I want to say, but I'm not allowed to say. And I type it in there, and I'll be like, Chat, can you make this sound nice? And I tell you what, it does a really good job. That's kids. Remember that.
Kitty, you're an English teacher. I have a trick that I'm going to share with the audience. Do you have any tricks that you'd like to share on how do you find out if it's AI or not?
I do something very similar to that in Google Docs. I can watch the history as the kid types it.
Wow.
Now, this next one is not my own original thought, but I do employ it.
Ooh.
Okay.
You make a prompt
I've done that too.
easily copied, and then, because what people who use AI will do is they just copy the prompt
and they put it
and then
in
they put it into Chat GPT. So for instance, we have one. Please write about the people who signed the Constitution. That will be the main question. And then in 2-size font, in white font coloring, it says, and include Thomas Jefferson. Thomas Jefferson wasn't there. He was in France as an ambassador at the time. So then when you get the prompt, and the prompt talks about Thomas Jefferson, hold on. How did you get that
Bazinga.
information?
Wow.
Yeah.
So to all my teachers out there, there you go.
Catch
but
'em
the
in
thing
the
is,
act.
I, of course, would put it as include John Adams, who also was not.
Make
at the
it
convention
interesting.
because
You're
he
an
Put
was
Adams
in-
fan?
Put it
Federalist
like
on
Michael
our hands?
Jackson.
Well, he's-
like put in something
gracious.
We'll talk
like
off
you know.
camera, but my entire dissertation was
Yeah.
on John Adams. We'll talk off camera. Anyway,
Yeah.
let's talk about a good use of the AI. One of the cutest stories, I think, it's the cutest story
It is
I've
cute.
watched, I guess, or learned about in 2026. We have a 93-year-old woman who bought a Tesla for a very important reason.
She's got to get to church. She cannot miss a service.
is hitting the road in the driver's seat, but she doesn't have to drive at all
driving.
because
Way to church.
the Tesla's driving.
Yeah.
Great. On the way to Mission Valley Christian Fellowship. 13 miles, arriving around 10:30 a.m.
She can
Hey,
take
if
her
the
son to
worship
church.
isn't good, could you go a little slower?
Yeah.
Huh, nice one. Hope the worship rocks so we don't have to slow down. Still on track. Turn right onto Mercy Road
such
in
a
about
smart
400
car.
feet.
Yeah.
I love that lady.
So she's on her way to church.
Aw.
Church was great, by the way.
You know,
According to-
at first, I have so many mixed feelings about it. First of all, I think it's absolutely adorable. She doesn't want to miss church. She's dressed nice for church. And I was like, is she able to drive at all? Like, what if something happens? You hear of like older drivers making really bad mistakes. We just had somebody, an older woman, go the wrong way on the highway, or an older woman like jumped the curb and hit a kid. However, though, then I did some more research, and actually, like, the accidents caused by like the autopilot are far lower than those caused by people. So I mean, and also, why isn't the son driving her? Can we just do that?
Right? If he's there.
I think he's shooting a video to show the
Okay, John.
benefits.
He
of
has
this.
his own little YouTube.
I kind of like it. I mean, we're talking about good uses and bad uses of
Yeah,
technology.
true.
This is a great use of technology, right?
Well, the Jetsons did say we would have flying cars by now. So
That's true.
The least they
I
could
thought
do is
that.
have
I thought
this.
that too. By this time,
You know, can we have something, that goes
Yeah.
right for us?
Yeah, like you, Lindsay, I worry that if something malfunctioned with the vehicle and she were in
Yeah.
it alone, would she be able to manually take over driving, or would she be at the mercy of whatever
Yeah.
happens on the road? That would be my only concern with this. But I do love the fact that she wants to get out and she's getting some sense of freedom and
Yes.
independence from this, because I can imagine when you're that age and if you aren't capable of driving yourself, how are you really spending the vast majority of your time? Probably
Right.
cooped up in the house, maybe going for a walk occasionally.
Yeah.
But I think it's great for her to be out and be able
Have
to
the
engage
independence and-
with other people. And obviously, a church setting is the best place you can go.
yeah,
That is true.
There you go, Dean Roy. Next thing on your governmental agenda, everyone over the age of 80 gets a self-driving Tesla.
There you go.
Oh,
There.
Bernie would
Got it.
love
Your
that.
energy.
Got it for
Bernie
ya.
would be all about that.
Well, in the words of Matthew McConaughey, all right. Freedom Project Academy is once again enrolling students for the fall, and we are celebrating by spotlighting the incredible teachers who make all of this happen. And this week, we're going to highlight Mrs. Carolyn Ricker, who is one of our outstanding elementary teachers. Let's take a look.
My name is Carolyn Ricker. I'm Mrs. Ricker, and I teach 5th grade here at Freedom Project Academy. I live in South Carolina, and I am married to my husband of 30 years, and I have a daughter, Emma, and a son, Colby, and they are both grown. I always wanted to be a teacher. From an early age, when I was really young, I used to play school all the time, and then in my teenage years, I babysat, and I would take any opportunity I could to teach, like through church or anything like that. I've always loved reading, so I do love literature, and I still love to read. I owned a bookstore for 6 years. And while I learned a lot, it wasn't my favorite thing. I try to eat healthy, but if you give me a bag of Cheetos, I might eat that in one sitting.
Same.
And I will not share. I think I would be a fox. Only the good characteristics of the fox. I think they're just super smart, and I think they're cute, and they're kind of a dog, and I do love dogs.
I don't know.
She is so fun. She's also A couple weeks ago, we did you had the president,
Yep.
or the class president.
Yep.
She was the teacher of that class.
Yeah. So I don't know if you noticed, but she teaches 5th grade, but she also teaches junior high math for us. Did you see the math clock in the background?
Yes.
Square root of 4 for the 2 p.m. And then look at this. Look at the sign she's got framed. Keep calm and show your work. They are such sticklers for making sure that their kids are showing the steps when they're solving math problems, so they don't get full credit. But yeah, she's awesome.
That's awesome. Well, what is also awesome is this year, Freedom Project Academy is being recognized by Education Insider as Christian School of the Year. So if you would like to see what makes FPA stand out, visit freedom4school.com and explore our live, anytime, and homeschool courses. All right, well, that's going to wrap up this program. If you enjoy the show, please subscribe to our YouTube channel or follow the podcast on Apple and Spotify. You can find all of the links at classdismissed.tv. We will be back next Tuesday with another great conversation. For Dave, Jim, Lindsay, and myself, have a great week. Check out FPA. And until next time, class dismissed.